This is a review of the Wi-Fi quality at Rivershire RV Resort and Camping, located in Oklahoma, just south of Ponca City. When you pull into the Rivershire RV and Resort, you're going to be driving along Highway 177, and you're going to turn in east to go into the campground. And you're going to travel along this road to the north, and there are 18 RV parking spaces that are here under the trees. The river is just up here to the north, but I've zoomed this in so you can see a little bit better. And what these green lines mean with the dots in them is that's where I dragged some Wi-Fi measuring equipment around the campground. And what that tells us, once we visualize what's the power levels, is if I go up here to the signal strength, do I have enough power level to have good Wi-Fi? And what these colors mean is green is great, yellow is good, and then gray is not good. I have this set up so that we can basically give you a baseline as to can I do streaming video or not streaming video, which is the hardest thing that you can do with Wi-Fi. And it's the easiest way for people to complain about crummy Wi-Fi. And streaming video requires about 6 megabits. So wherever it's yellow here, you're going to be able to have good Wi-Fi. Now, the reason why it looks spotty is I only have one of the 3 access points turned on. Right here where you see this blue circle, that's one of the Wi-Fi access points that's attached to the shower house or the bathhouse, and it's aimed up here at the 18 RV spaces. So that's channel 1. And then here on the north side of the campground, there's 2 access points with directional antennas. This one on the right is aiming a little bit to the lower right, and then the one on the left is aiming to the lower left. So when I click on them, so I click on this access point, which is aimed to the lower left, you can see that it's covering clearly covering the left side of the RV parking area and even reaching the house. If I click the AP to the upper right, you can see it's covering most of this area. So these 2 access points to the north side of the campground are doing a great job of covering the RVs over on the north side. And there is another access point down here on the bathhouse that is aimed at the southeast corner of the campground, but it's also given really good coverage over here to the tent area. The tent area is located just to the west of the bathhouse and in this area. So with all 3 access points turned on, I've got good Wi-Fi coverage everywhere in the campground, except for just a few small areas. So most people shouldn't have a problem. And this is just for 2.4 gigahertz. If I look at 5 gigahertz, they currently do not have a 5 gigahertz system installed, but I've advised them of that, and that may be something they put in the future. But currently with the 2.4 gigahertz system, you can handle about 6 streaming videos per access point. And up here in the camping RV area, we've got 18 spaces. So if we have one person at each RV streaming a video on a football weekend, the system would be at capacity, but it's at capacity and it should be pretty good Wi-Fi all around. Now, when we go in here to inspect the Wi-Fi, there's something that I noticed that is easily fixed. And if I click on this spot, what we notice over here is this spectrum graph. So here, just a little bit to the west of the bathhouse, I'm measuring what is the overall Wi-Fi environment in this area. And if we look over here to the right, this graph tells me that the spectrum is very busy. This area right here where I see that number 1, that's channel number 1 in the 2.4 gigahertz band, and you can see it's red. That means there's a lot of traffic there on channel 1. And then over here, there is the other access point. So basically, the system's not properly provisioned, and look how busy the spectrum is because of that. So I advise them to get in contact with their internet provider to provision this. Instead of using channels 1 and 11 in here, I advise them to use channels 1, 6, and 11. This is a 40 megahertz wide channel right here, and it needed to be changed from 40 megahertz wide to 20 megahertz wide. So I'm going to show you that next after they re-provision this. So here we have a side-by-side comparison of the before and after. On the right side is after they did the provisioning and they changed it from these 40 megahertz wide bandwidth to over here to just 20 megahertz bandwidth. So now we have 3 channels instead of 2. And notice what it did dramatically to the amount of bandwidth being used in the area. Over here on the left, the spectrum is very busy, and a lot of that has to do with these channels up here are overlapping and interfering with each other. And what that does behind the scenes in Wi-Fi is it causes a lot of retransmissions because there's a lot of errors with these channels interfering with each other. And this lower graph where it's all red is basically a lot of retransmissions due to the interference of misprovisioning system. So over here on the left, this is what it actually looks like today. About a week later, they provisioned it on June 30th of 2024. And in approximately the same spot, just a little bit to the west of the bathhouse, when we measure the spectrum, you can see it's dramatically improved. So considering what the coverage is, we've got great power levels everywhere. Now we have properly provisioned, so you're going to have good spectrum usage. So you should have a very good Wi-Fi experience if you're down here as one of the 18 RV campsites. What you're going to need to do if you're having problems is try to get whatever your device is and have it near a window. And if you have metal tinted windows in your RV, you're going to need to have to get around them because that's going to block the Wi-Fi. But outside your RV, if you're just sitting out in a lounge chair watching a football game on your iPad or your iPhone, you should be able to have really good Wi-Fi coverage on the Rivershire RV. With that, I hope you enjoy your stay. It's a great place to relax and forget about everything and enjoy. Please like and subscribe this video.